The last years of the Meridian Empire, when the suns of Oros burned white over the salt deserts, and men still believed history could be governed, there came a child born beneath a silent eclipse. The priests denied the omen. The navigators refused to chart it. The emperor ordered the birth records sealed in black wax and buried beneath the archives of Halcyon Prime. But the desert remembered. It always did. Oros was not a world for the gentle. Its oceans had died before the first human colony ship split the clouds. Its mountains had been ground into dust by winds that sang with the voices of buried kingdoms. Across its equatorial waste lay the glass expanse, a sea of fused sand that reflected the heavens by day and the dead by night. Only one thing grew there: the thorn vine. From its roots came oral, the golden resin that slowed age, sharpened thought, and allowed the mind to endure the terrible mathematics of deep space folding. Without oral, the empire would collapse into distance. Worlds would become islands, armies would become legends. Trade, memory, bloodlines, law, all would drown in the impossible dark between stars. So Oros was priceless. So Oros was cursed. For 300 years, House Valen held the planet in stewardship, loyal to the Meridian throne and obedient to the Guild of Passage. They harvested the resin, they paid the tithe, they buried their dead in windless tombs and taught their children never to trust stillness. Then came the imperial decree. House Valen was to surrender Oros. House Morkant was to receive it. No reason was given. No reason was needed. In the palace cities, this was called administration. In the merchant ledgers, it was called reallocation. In the temples, it was called the turning of providence. In the desert, it was called betrayal. Duke Saran Valen received the decree at dawn, standing on the eastern balcony of Salt Keep, where the air smelled of iron and sun-baked stone. Beside him stood his son, Kale, 15 years old, and too quiet for a boy who had just inherited a war. The Duke read the Emperor's seal once. Then he folded the parchment. Then he laughed. It was not the laugh of a man amused. It was the laugh of a man who had finally heard the blade leave its sheath. Remember this morning, he told his son. Kale looked out over the desert, where the first light moved like fire over the dunes. Why? Because one day, said the Duke, men will ask when the empire began to fall. The boy said nothing. Far below, in the shadow of the keep, the desert people were already gathering, the Arukai veiled, still watching. They had lived on Oros before the empire named it. Before the first surveyors found the thorn vine. Before kings and guilds and priests invented reasons to own what could only be endured. Their old women spoke of a figure who would come from blood and exile. Their warriors spoke of a knife that would drink an emperor's future. The children sang a rhyme forbidden in every imperial school. When glass remembers water, when the thorn bears flame, the crown shall kneel to silence, and dust shall speak his name. In later centuries, scholars would argue whether the prophecy shaped the boy, or whether the boy merely stepped into a myth already waiting for him. This is the vanity of scholars. The desert did not argue. It waited. It waited.